Hello, cyclocross friends, and thanks for tuning in to episode 361 of Cyclocross Radio. On the show, we are going to talk about the 2026 Cyclocross World Championships that happened this past weekend in Hulst, in the Netherlands. We got Tyler Cloutier and Boedi joining us for this one. Before we get into it very quickly, going to shout out our sponsor, which is Hammerhead and the Karoo. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You all already know the spiel, but you just need to know that our deal with the Karoo is still going on. In a nutshell, here's how it's different. Stunning smartphone-like screen, mega memory, all-day battery life. You know, if you look at their stuff, it's the best cycling computer out there. I can't disagree. I've been using it for years. Love it. Fully programmable, always updated. You know, your firmware is never going to go out of date. They're always improving, always giving you new functionality. Here's the deal. If you want the Karoo, you can buy the Karoo. You're on the hook for that. But then one of the key metrics that you need when using a cycling computer is heart rate. And we will get the heart rate monitor for you. You get the Karoo. The three of us are gonna buy the heart rate monitor for you. And how you do that is that you take your Karoo at hammerhead.io. You put your Karoo. Where do you put your Karoo, Boedi? I did that right when you were getting a drink. It was perfect timing. Like, we couldn't plan that better.
You put it with the lotion in the basket.
All right, in the basket. You know, there was this thing, like, you know, did you see one battle after another?
No.
Okay. Well, there's in that Sean Penn at one point to slick back his hair, puts his whole comb into his mouth and like sucks it and then like slicks back his hair. Interesting tidbit on that. It was actually taken from video of Paul Wolfowitz. Remember Paul Wolfowitz? He did that. So this is like a real life, like, defense secretary guy who did this. And he was, you know, that's where they got that from the movie. Anyway, just the thought of like licking a comb is kind of like licking your, you know, your heart rate monitor to get it to activate. And they do have, don't they have kind of like the sprays and the lotions that you can get for your heart rate monitor? So you don't have to do that.
Yeah, you can just get like the, what do you call the ultrasound jelly?
Yeah. So we're almost like on theme here.
Yeah. It's so funny. I was just thinking about what other sports do you lick other things? And I was like, well, guys, you know, I'm going to go to golf. You lick the golf ball, right? When it's dirty, cleaning out the green. Spit
Toads.
in your snowboard goggles, and then you spin them out so they don't get foggy. Or your swim goggles.
Horn toads, isn't that a thing? Can't get high licking toads.
What sport is that?
Oh, well. Yeah. Anyway, hammerhead.io, put the Karoo into the basket, and then you take the heart rate monitor. What do you do with that, Boedi?
Put it in the basket.
Put it in the basket. Use the code CX Radio when you're checking out. CXRADIO. One word. I'm going to say go all caps. Yeah, if you want to, you know, if you want to just like throw caution to the wind and do lowercase, you can do that too. It probably will still work. Hammerhead.io, put the Karoo into the basket, put your heart rate monitor in the basket, use the code CX Radio, CXRADIO, and that heart rate monitor is on Tyler, Boedi, and myself.
You're welcome. We won't lick it before it
No,
goes in your basket.
will not come pre-licked.
Unless you ask nicely, Grant.
Boedi, let's check in with you first. It's been a minute since we've been recording. How's it going?
It's going good. You know what I've been doing.
I know. I don't want to, like, you know, especially with Tyler here, I don't want to get, like, you know, in this too early. Like, I feel like this has to be, you know, we have to reserve the golf talk for the end. I mean, if you want to give like just a quick recap, we can. We can't get into the weeds. We can't get into the long rough over this.
No, I'll just say I've been golfing a lot. They closed our driving range, so I have to just golf all the time. I will say I have been trying to go on a bike ride, but we've had really cold weather. Like, it was below freezing all weekend. And I will admit I'm at a point right now where if it's 30 degrees and blowing 20 miles an hour, I'm not going to go on a bike ride. I'm staying inside. So I've been looking at my bikes in the garage and being like, all right, it's coming soon. So
it's been single digits here.
Okay.
With
you
snow.
know what? Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I mean, you guys are used to it.
No,
I'm
we're
in
not.
Norland.
No, we're not. Tyler, welcome back. How's it going?
Hi. Yes. Excited to be here. Talk about cyclocross and golf eventually. Yeah. I also have not been able to ride mostly because I'm soft, but it did snow here. So I did break out the skis and ski some of the trails and down some of the dams around the lakes around here. So we got some early season turns in.
That's
nice.
That sounds fun. I don't know, like the ability to like just ski around your neighborhood sounds pretty awesome to me. Like if you could do that, like I would totally be into that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
like
a good time.
Snow in DC is supposed to be, it snows. Everybody's like, oh, it snows, and they'll go crazy and they ride off the roads and, schools are canceled and all that other kind of great stuff. And then the next day it's 50 and it all melts.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, that, we got like 8 or 10 inches of snow and then like 2 inches of ice on top of it. So, and then it was 9 degrees for the past week. And it's kind of, it's like when I used to live in the Midwest. And it's having flashbacks to it, and it's good for people in this area just to live through. Well, one, just when the novelty of the snow wears off, but then also what happens to snow when it doesn't snow again and it doesn't melt. Like where every dog in the neighborhood has been. The dirt just starts from all the cars and exhaust starts, and you just get this just brown, just ugly, just gunk. So yeah, I guess this is our solidarity with the Twin Cities is what we're doing with the weather.
Yeah,
here.
That's a good time. I don't know if it's too late at this point. I think some warmer weather is coming here this week, and I'm sure it's making its way your way. But if you're in the car wash business, I'm sure you're about to have your peak week if you live in the Mid-Atlantic.
Which is good because, I go by our neighborhood car wash and they've just, people have just been parking in front of the doors for a week now because they can't open. So yeah. Once they have to make their money back and then just on top of that. But yeah, for sure. We had a world championship that took place in Hulst. Boedi hasn't been there. Tyler, you and I both have been to Hulst so many times. However, this looked completely different. I was saying before we started recording that I still am a little confused about where things go compared to where they used to go on that course. Can you think I'm putting you on the spot here, Tyler, but do you think you can give like just at least a little like comparison from what it was to what it was set up for the World Championships?
Yeah, the easiest way to put it is the start is the finish now, and the finish is the start now for this course.
So they flipped the entire thing?
Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay.
They flipped pretty much the entire run of the course. It's always hard to describe something especially in audio form without visuals, but even more so when you're just talking about, that one hill that's by the water, but next to the windmill, but the other side of the windmill, it becomes a little more difficult. But if you're thinking about where the windmill was, the descent where the women's race kind of came to a head, the elite women's race came to a head, that was previously a run-up, and the climb up to the windmill used to be the main descent. So they kind of flip some things around. Yeah.
Like if you're a photographer, y'all have seen this photo many times. When you just see the kind of the people looking like they're climbing up a wall, and it's just riders and grass. I've taken that photo many times. That was now the descent where that used to be the run up.
Yep. And I heard it a lot on the coverage, the Vanderpool corner where he, I guess, slid out in practice. I didn't see that, but the Vanderpool hill that he was riding, that also used to be a descent in years past. And then the only thing that I noticed that was different, besides some, fewer maybe some different turns here and there, was the VIP section. That was not any part of that I had seen before. And I guess the pontoons from Belgian Nationals from a few years, did those just drift kind of up and around?
Yeah,
I think whoever does those now has a pretty good business, because they were using them. What was the French World Cup this year?
Yeah, Flamanville this year.
Flamanville, yeah, they had them there too in the water. Yeah,
think of we could get a whole new course at Lilla. Yeah, in a couple weeks. You know, instead of going around the lake, they just shortcut it straight across.
So just to be clear, there were no pontoons before, right? Or
That's
were
correct.
there
no pontoons?
So, I mean, that you look at this course in the way it's got the bodies of water and stuff. Yeah, I mean, that really opens it up. And now I understand, Bill, you're always talking about this one section that you like. It's like really hard to get to because there's this one land bridge there.
Yeah, so where nobody was allowed this year, where you had that nice shot where you could see the windmill up on the left, and then everybody was sort of riding below to the run up. That's like where the photographer got knocked into the water 2 years ago, I think it was. And that hill was, usually where media could get in and nobody else. And then the section on the other side where all the people was, that was course. Like Tyler can tell you, he spent a lot of time just inspecting that course during the beginning of his World Cup race, where the start used to go, which is now spectators, but at that point had the worst first turn in cyclocross, that everybody just came to a grinding halt if you were, I would say, anywhere from 15th to the back, maybe even 10th.
I'm going to test my Mid-Atlantic, I don't know if DC specific, but it'd be like, imagine coming off 95, and then what's the 2-lane highway that goes like out to Dulles?
Do you mean Dulles or Baltimore Washington International? Dulles is 66.
Okay, yeah. So, but it's like 2 lanes, right?
Oh, like the toll road?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The Parkway. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So imagine 4-lane highway to that. Yeah, was essentially how this course used to be run. And I feel like they made some improvement. They reworked a couple of things. They made it very open and fair racing for sure.
Yeah, and the thing about Hulst is that, you can confirm or deny, it was always hard. Like, that was a hard course. Yeah, I think just technically and also just physically, it was a demanding course. They didn't dumb it down.
No.
It seemed like it was still hard.
Yeah, the descents on that course are, for folks that have raced cross a long time in the U.S., I would say a comparable descent to what you see on a lot of the elite courses in Europe was when they used to run Cincinnati at Devoux, or even some of the drops at Tacoma Nationals if you're on the West Coast. Scary. You're not sure if your brakes are going to stop you or if you're going to be like Steen and go straight into the water to make that turbocross reference there. But yeah, some gnarly drops, some steep uphills. Not a good course for the rhythm, that's for sure.
You'd see, one thing talking about the course is just like beautiful from this. I mean, just a lot of nice vantage points you see with the photographers, but just like all those aerial drone shots around the windmill, and like it's just really interesting looking because of the waterways, because of these levee walls is what I would call them. I don't know. I thought it's a cool venue. I think it's sort of one of those venues that really sort of fits for being World Championships, right? It's sort of it is.
Well, it's such a cool town.
Epic.
I mean, it's a star fort.
Yeah,
exactly. And you're in one of the little like corners of it with the walls and everything. It's pretty wild.
Well, there was a question about was this course too hard? I feel like that's kind of a good question to go with now.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's too hard. I think this is Worlds, and I think that
Dolomite TX.
Huh?
Dolomite TX. that
Yeah,
question.
asked if it was too hard. And I don't think it was. I think that there were a lot of crashes, and these features did decide some races, but it wasn't, they were all cyclocross features, right? It wasn't something that was sort of outside the realm of this sport where you're like, this is just, spectacle, this sort of fit within the venue. And I think that we saw, thinking about some of the winners, I mean, we saw riders who we thought would win, right? Because they are the strongest. So no, I don't think it was too hard. I thought it was great.
Is this a good metric? There were very few DNFs. Men's race had none, elite. Women's race had one. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm sure there were a few more, but it wasn't, these races we've seen before, especially, look at like some of the muddy races where everything gets super spread out, where half the field is either pulled on the last lap or even DNFing. And we didn't have that. So everybody raced the whole time. I guess the follow-up, Tyler, to if this was too hard, was it a course that led to competitive racing? Did it make for exciting racing?
I really thought so. I mean, I think that in years past, if you think back to what the World Championships have been, the one that comes to mind was like at least the men's race in Hoogerheide. That was exciting. To watch that and to see it come down to the final lap. I think when you're thinking about sport, what makes sport compelling, it's having compelling racing. And just thinking about back to this weekend and the races that we did have, I feel like a lot of races were still in the balance until the last lap, save for a couple here or there. But there was really compelling racing happening with some Group 2 stuff. Maybe lead rider comes back or suffers a crash or mechanical. I think you saw compelling racing throughout all of the fields. Across the board, which was I wasn't ready just to turn off my TV after 2 laps and be like, all right, I kind of know how this plays out.
Yeah, and Boedi, I think if you look at the final results, it's a little deceptive, because if you look at it, like the closest race was 9 seconds was the closest race. And, everybody came in, everybody was able to celebrate their world championships without really fear of anybody behind them. Both of the elite races were close to 30 seconds winners, but that didn't really tell the story of the race. I mean, that was kind of, in all of these, they were racing 75% of the race. And I think that's what we want. At least it wasn't over in the first couple laps.
Yeah, I mean, I think also, like Tyler said too, there was just a lot of racing, a good racing behind too, right? Sure. Like I was rewatching the men's race to kind of just see how it went out between Tibor and Thibaut, and like they were together for most of that race, changing positions. And in the women's race, you had like a lot of stuff in the front, and then you had a lot of stuff in the chasing group, and then riders dropping from the front to the back, and so. Yeah, I think we got rewarded with some pretty good action, and I think the venue. I was thinking about so those descents that they are pretty big, and they did cause some big crashes, but we also had some like really cool like moves, like in the U23 women where Benfield take this inside line.
That was my move of the weekend.
That was so far. Yeah, that was awesome. And then also like this venue, because it set up like there was foreshadowing like earlier the week where CX24 was tweeting about Sporza videos of can anybody ride this run up? And Tibor's like, yeah, I can. And then him and Vanderpool would. And that was the main story point for a lot of the races, mostly in the men's, where it's like, that was it. Like it was known before the race, like the race is going to come down to that feature there. And, like I said, this venue provided us with that element, that really cool section for the riders to sort of either make or break the race.
What about the advantage of being able to teleport over features like Vanderpool was doing?
Teleport?
He just floated. Where he was getting air on the.
Yeah, it was an up where he was actually T-board too. Like you hit the right speed.
Which was like because it wasn't like at the top. It was like in the it was like a little hump in the middle. So it just you never see anything like it. It was just like in the middle. They're all of a sudden just sort of floating and then continuing with their climb.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, good stuff. I say we fill in with the other lower categories as we go, but let's just start. Let's get into the juicy stuff first. Maybe even the juiciest of them. Let's start with the elite women.
Well, here, elite women.
Yes.
The race starts and there's 3 women off the front. And you're like, okay, 3 Dutch women, but it's also like it's the favorites, but there's 3 good storylines, right? That are sort of like can play out in this like who do you want to win, right? You have Brand, who is the best rider of the year, the best rider of the last couple of years, only has 1 world. This is a really good capper of the season. You have Alvarado, who has won 1 worlds in 2019, and has had some issues the last few years. A couple of injuries and illness, and just has been just trying to come back. So her winning that would be sort of amazing. Then you have Puck, who is a phenom on the bike, all types of events. Has never won worlds. One is U23. Doesn't win a lot of races during the season, but is up there. She's a world champion on mountain bike, right? She won the World Cup as well. So obviously, clearly talented, and so
didn't have her nemesis,
huh?
And didn't have her nemesis.
That's true. The woman she came up with. So like her winning would also be amazing. So I just want to say, like, put that out at the beginning, like, boom. Even though there's 3 Dutch women who get off the front right away, it's like we still have. This is cool. Like, I'm very excited to see what happens.
Yeah, it's so if we go back to when Alvarado won in 2020 in Switzerland, I guess Puck Pieterse is playing the part of Anne-Marie Worst now. Right? Wasn't she the third?
I think so. It wasn't I thought Anne-Marie in that one was Anne-Marie and
it was Brand, Alvarado.
Yeah.
And Verst, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And it was the question.
I see what you're saying.
Were they going to wait for Brand?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, because Verst got second in that race.
Yeah, it came down to the sprint. But I thought, so the race starts out and you see Puck give it a go. You see Alvarado give it a go. And then
it's almost just cool as a cucumber the whole time.
I mean, we sort of hinted at Leonie Bentveld's amazing move on that same hill, taking the outside line that Benfeld was able to take advantage of. Puck went down.
Right.
And that was kind of that changed the whole race. I mean, I think without that, she was in control of this one.
I mean, Brand was leading there when she went down.
Yeah.
So I do think that Brand did. I think you're right, Tyler, that Lucinda was kind of just waiting. Yeah. And we've seen this from her this year. Let the young guns or the younger women, put an effort. And like, Brand she's never started super hard. So it's just kind of perfect, stays in control and she's there. Yeah. Puck goes down, really, really hard crash. Like she kind of falls really hard on her shoulders. So, but that sort of Brand goes and, Alvarado tries to hang on.
And that was just it right there, right? I mean, that was kind of, at that point, it was the race, because I think even it was maybe the lap before where didn't Alvarado like flick Brand through early because Puck had a little bit of a gap. And I thought I remember Alvarado just kind of like didn't have it to chase back Puck on her own. And so therefore, Lucinda does Diesel things and pulls Puck back over the course of the next half lap or so. And I may be misremembering it, but I remember at some point Puck was just coming out guns blazing and just flying off the front. And then like you guys have already said, that the crash just kind of changed the whole complexion of the race, where it seemed like, we were talking about it while watching. It was like I had my, Rob Lowe NFL hat on. I just hope everybody has a good time here, because I would have loved to see any of them win. And then it quickly became like, well, all right, I guess, Lucinda, as long as she keeps it together, is gonna kind of walk this one, because it didn't seem like Celine had it on the day.
Yeah, she just outpowered her. I mean, that's, I guess, credit to this course as well, for as technical as it was, it still gave the opportunity for the diesels to really be able to pull away in those sections. And you could see it throughout all of these fields. It was kind of fun to watch the disparate skills that people had, where people would definitely like win one part of the course and lose another part of the course, and it would all come back together. You see people like pull away on the descent and then lose it, and then they'd come back on the power, or vice versa,
or to climb the run up and the transition. Just so many of this race was like, could you get off the bike quick enough and start running, or did you try and ride it and bog you up? You fell on other riders. So Brand goes away, but then Brand actually goes over the bars uphill, which I think kind of like, it's kind of a funny incident where she crashes uphill. So it's like not like a huge crash. Like it's not like she got hurt and she got up quickly, but like you're like, oh no, is this Bogens again? Is she going to like mess it up? And Alvarado comes back to her, and so you kind of think, all right, well, so maybe we have a little bit of race, but then it's no. Lucinda's like, nah.
After last year and the post, the lean, the elbow that was or wasn't there with Fem and Lucinda.
That's right. I forgot about
that punched her back to second. I don't think she was gonna have anybody near her coming into the finish on this one.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, I was just going to say, one of the notes that I had in here was like crit racing at the front and in group 2. Right. So even though Lucinda and Celine were kind of gapped off the front, even before that, it seemed like the 3 women were really jockeying for position of who needed to be first into what section. And then the second group developed, which seemed like an entire peloton. And they were also, every time they cut back to that group, it seemed like, hold on, there's either another person's been added, or there's a new person at the front. And, Blanca Voss was now shuffled to the back, but then 2 corners later, she's back at the front somehow. There's a lot of dynamic racing happening back there. Totally agree. In the men's race too, the chasing group was very exciting. And I'm glad they cut back to them as much as they did. And you almost wish you could have a screen on them all the time, because there was a lot of good racing there. But talking about, rubbing and racing, I mean, we got to talk about the incident with what incident?
What incident?
Yeah, what incident?
Old Marion Norbert Riverol and the shove. We do have a name for this. The push, the shove. Heard around the world. So yeah, they're in the chase group, and Zemanova takes an inside line. I didn't go back and look at it like Zapruder. I didn't go into a full deep dive. You see, the coverage kind of covers it. She's just on the inside, slides out, takes Riverol down with her. They both get up. Riverol turns around, so she's facing backwards on the course. Shoves Zemanova, 2 hands into the chest, picks her bike and goes. Or actually, Zemanova goes first, then Riverol gets her bike. Riverol goes around the corner. There's Zemanova bending over her bike because her chain is also off. And then she gets DQ'd pretty quickly. Rides another lap, half lap.
I think so, yeah.
And then big debate on the internet. Worst offense, the dive bomb or the shove?
I mean,
or the laying down in the middle of the course when you realize you're DQ'd.
That was it for me. That was the one too. And they were like, she crashed again. I was like, now we're just being selfish.
Yeah.
So interesting. Okay, let's go back to the shove. But like, Kralin posts that Marion had a concussion from her fall. and that she has to
maybe
go
that's why Becca reposted this.
protocols, but she's going to be racing on Wednesday. So, like, is that? I don't have the crash in front of me, like when she fell down. So I guess they're saying that she got a concussion when Zemanova took her out. And
I assume. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just curious, or because when she's
then
on
I
the
think
ground,
they were saying that when she lay down afterwards, she was having a panic attack.
right? I mean, so we're hearing all kinds of things here.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of.
I assume that she had when I saw her on course and the medics were over the fence. I assume that she had crashed in one of those kind of steep transitions, because there's a lot of like for the rest of us.
Before she just like got off her bike and lay down.
I thought so. Yeah.
Okay.
I assumed like, oh, she must have crashed into like one of the transitions from high to low or low to high. And just, I assume that's where she crashed and maybe had some type of head injury, which would not be a laughing matter. But if she was just laying down and throwing a temper tantrum, that's.
I think it was a dumb move on Zemanova's part, but dumb moves happen all the time. And with Marion, she's got the weight of the nation, of cyclocross nation on her shoulders. Like, she's supposed to, be the successor to Sane Kant. She changed citizenships to be able to race more and be Belgian. And I think that, shoving somebody's wrong, but it's when you have that much adrenaline pumping and you're in there, again, not making excuses for it, but I can see it happening. You see it in every sport. I mean, that's the thing. It's why it's built into other sports, right?
Yeah.
Technical fouls.
It's interesting.
Penalty boxes. Everything. Like, physical altercations are built in. I'm not for physical altercations in cycling. I'm just saying it's not like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? Yes, I can believe this happened. We've seen a lot in the men. I mean, there are full reels of people getting shoved in cyclocross races in the men's field.
And I feel like people, that would be something, at least when I was early in the sport, people would glorify. Like, people would go out of your way to like elbow you. And it's like, no, you don't elbow somebody to elbow them. You elbow them to make space, to make a pass, or to let them know you're there. It's not, I'm not going out of my way to knock somebody over. And I disagree with both of you. I think Zemanova was fine, was well within her right to be where she was. Yeah. And bar to bar, like, at that point, Zemanova is coming faster through the corner. She's more, I was trying to think, MNR, Marion Norbert Reroll left the door open, and Zemanova's there, and then just hit a greasy patch and rear wheel slides, takes her out. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with Zemanova making that move. I think if it had been dry or she hadn't hit that patch of slick mud, I think they would have both stayed upright and it would have been fine. But
right, in the same way, if Benfeld had hit a rut and slid into, I'm blanking on the
Chandlanova,
yeah, and crashed both of them out, we'd probably be having the same conversation.
Yeah, but you would see that and you'd be like, oh, she didn't steer that way. But I think everybody, it becomes a big talking point because.
Well, I think, in the Meyerson of it all, it's like it's the wrong time of the race and place to do that.
Yeah.
We were talking.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I saw it's different. Like I don't know. The corner in a cross race is different than a corner in a crit. And I get what he's saying about passing the straight or like you're not gaining the point, but like those corners are more advantageous than they are in crits, right? Because there's a lot more of them and they lead to features that you want to be in front of. So it's like, I mean, going back to Bill, what you said, it's built into these sports where you have these physical altercations. And I see that, and that makes sense. I do think that with cycling, the hands off the bars, that part is not built into the sport. Like, rubbing shirt, shoulders, kind of like fighting for a corner. But like, there's always, to me, when you take the hands off the bar and touch someone else, it kind of crosses a line. And like,
Oh yeah, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying
no.
I can see it happening.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think that like Marion Norbert Riberoll is the worst person ever and she should be booted from the sport. I think, yeah, you committed a fine, a penalty, you got disqualified. Like, that sucks. It's the world's. But come back and race next. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Everybody, welcome back. It's just, it is a shocking thing to see, though, in cross, because it is cycling. It's not basketball where you're elbow, trying to, work someone off and box them out for rebound, or football where you're blocking. So there's a little bit less of that. But yeah, I mean, it's provocative. I will say that, it was, you see on the race, you're like, whoa, what's going on? And so, hopefully Riberoll's okay. I hope that her concussion's fine. She can race. Like Bill, like you said, she is. I have always felt that the Belgian tricolor was too heavy for her. It is too much. It seems like too much for her and her racing style. And it's interesting though that like, because Belgian after Sana Kant, like there really hasn't been anybody.
No, I mean, I'm sure Flor Moores feels the same.
Yeah,
I mean, she's the only other one.
True. I mean, like, and the woman who Verdun shot, is unfortunately had medical issues and has sort of has risen almost to that point. But yeah, it's like you said, yeah, it's a very stressful point in time, and that kind of reaction, you can see why it would happen.
Getting back to the racing of it all. Well, just here, because it's sort of coming off of this same thing and just talking about turns and cyclocross, and this is something that I know we've talked about before, but I don't know, it just kind of struck me more this year during curse period, and just seeing all of these races and just knowing what is being preached to American riders, and especially these younger ones who are able to do this, is that where cyclocross and crits, I think, really line up is that in Europe, unlike I think in the US, and you can tell me if I'm full of shit on this or not, Tyler, it's sprinting out of every turn. And that's kind of that is the absolute difference. And that is the difference maker in these races. That's where these gaps are coming. That's where all this time is being lost. And if you don't do that, if you're not prepared to be able to be putting an effort in every turn, then you can't race in Europe.
My experience it lines up with that exactly. And we were talking about this after watching the elite women's race. Was at the front, usually you see all the riders, men or women, kind of taking the same line. We were watching the camera, and you're like, oh, that's nice. Like, everybody's kind of following the same line. They might make a pass, but they don't do anything to slow people down. And I can tell you, in the back of the race, there are no rules back there. People drive corners like they're, sketched it out on an etch and sketch where it's just 90 degrees. There is no like smooth line. There is no like, hey, if you just let me ride this section faster, we'll ride it together and we'll go through at the same speed. And then you can pass me on the straight. In my experience, that never happened. It is, if you're not moving up, you're moving backwards. So you might as well box somebody out to move up. And it's just cutthroat. It's just every inch you're trying to get slightly in front of the person in front of you, or catch the next group, or what have you. And it is just full gas out of every corner. There's no let up. I think Andrew Strohmeyer could probably attest to this, where it's like, yeah, you rest on the start finish straight, which if you watch American races, it's you go as hard as you can on the start finish straight. Like, it's just a different style and approach to breaking down the track as a whole. And so, yeah, I mean, I my opinion aside, I think that the track was allowed for some passing. Was it the best place? Maybe not, but that's, I think, just the culture in Europe is like, you have to be cutthroat and be moving up. And that's just how they approach the racing.
Yeah. We talk a little farther back, Amadine Fauconnet, we were watching all year long. little bit of an issue there. Didn't she? I think she went down at one point that cost her. Blanca Bosch, really the best of the rest there in fourth place. Again, hope she sticks with it. Hope she came out of this season racing less, feeling better about cyclocross, and keeps with it. I hope Yolanda Neff had a great, experience. It seemed like, at least that's what she was saying, and comes back and continues to race. I think she's kind of, it was even mentioned on the broadcast, although I think he said it was during the World Championships, which it wasn't, when Pauline and Yolanda, crashed together, and it was like, oh, these are our, top two mountain bikers in the world. Maybe they shouldn't be crashing into each other in Hogerheide, and maybe that incident ended the best feature at Hogerheide and just took all the meat out of that off camber. But having her there and having her enjoy it, and doing a season and working her way towards the top five. I mean, look, she's only 33. Lucinda's winning these things at 37, so she could come in here and
still time.
Be cyclocross focused, especially since she's not getting the results that she has in the past in mountain biking. And I hope she continues to have a long career.
2 years, she can come back. Hoogerheide Worlds in 2028.
Revenge.
Come back for redemption.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
We should get Yolanda, more domestic CX, taking on the US CX, and then building into the full Euro program.
As I said in the Slack channel too, Yolanda Neff, top American.
We'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if spending a month here count. Can we put Manenbacher in there as kind of like honorary American too, top 10?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know if she wants to be, but
probably not. She likes it here, though.
Anybody else worth mentioning in this women's field?
Lizzie Gonzalez, 20th, first elite worlds. Didn't get to see much of her race, obviously. Sydney 16th, Aniek van Alphen 14th. Not, where we thought maybe she would finish earlier in the season.
So you had like your Euro champ and your like first World Cup. It's just kind of interesting, they got their seasons in early.
Yeah, they really did. Casasola DNF. Tough year for her. She really had some, we've fans of her, and she's raced really strong the last few years and had a good start this season, but just has not been able to get it working.
Magali got it out. If you don't subscribe to her newsletter, you should sign up for it. She has some good just insights on I think her last couple Substack entries were good, and just sort of taking the season in perspective, especially having such a great domestic season.
Anne-Marie Versen 15th. I was excited to see her back on the first page of the results as well. I hope she can come back next year too.
Yeah. All right. Puck Peterson, 24. No longer just a kid out there.
No, they're all so old up there. Yeah.
Let's go to a younger set other than the winner and the men's elite race. Not a real shocker at the front, and Mr. Vanderpoel wasn't really leaving anything to chance there, was he?
Yeah, no, he. This season we've seen him kind of sit in a little bit. The question is whether it's like he can't go as hard as he from the beginning like he used to, or he just wanted to sit in and enjoy some of the racing. But yeah, he was three. Once again, we had three riders out front fairly early, strongest, the favorites, and then Vanderpoel, I think lap 2 was gone. He did get slower after one super fast lap. His laps got progressively slower.
I think he sort of said it. I think he just wanted to be safe.
He also he said his legs weren't feeling.
And he didn't feel as good as he did the week before, which is always great to hear for the rest of the field.
So is he washed, guys? Is Vanderpoel washed?
Can I tell you
positive splits on his laps?
Get this out in the front, and then we can get into the race. If Bentfeld was my number one move of the weekend. Vanderpool running the planks was a close second. I mean, it was so weird because it was just thrilling to watch. I'm like, this guy's running the planks.
Why? Why do we think he was doing that? Like, just no advantage?
I think he was like, I'm not taking any chances. I know I can beat these guys.
They already told me they got the number 8 jersey wrapped up.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't have them create another
one. That was the
one.
other thing. That it would have been such a Vanderpool move. I think he's not as brash in his old age, but man, if they would have just given him that Chrome World Champs bike and switched it out right before the finish,
that would
so he rides across the line on the World Champs paint job, that would have been sick.
That would have been the move right there. Yeah, I mean, I wonder, do you think he gets a multiplier if he makes it interesting for like 2 laps on his payday?
Well, I mean, that was my favorite quote of his, like early on, I get paid to win bike races.
Yeah.
When he was getting criticized for not making it interesting.
I mean, like, who's going to pay the multiplier? Like, I mean, his team just wants to win. It's more like, is the UCI paying him the multiplier to make the race
conspiracy theory?
Get your
hats on.
And he's getting his start money.
Yeah.
Start money. You only get like a lot of times they're like, well, you have to finish. Like, you don't get the start money if you DNF. Like that's a clause in a lot of these like top guys. So for him, would the start money be, you don't get it if you're ahead by like a minute in lap 3?
Yeah, exactly. It's a governor.
Well, yeah. I mean, the bigger the gap, the smaller the amount of money goes. Yeah.
That's like, I know I mentioned this before. That's it's the softball league that I played in once, where a home run was an out.
How does that? Okay, home runs an out.
Well, they just did because it was too easy for these guys.
Yeah.
Right.
So they gotta hit a dinger or something, or okay. Yeah. Speaking of dingers, I mean, okay, so Vanderpool's, there was a pretty good battle between Tibor and Thibaut, which is
maybe one of the best of the weekend.
Yeah, and which was interesting, right? When you think about, Thibaut, the young nice, his dad is Sven, he's Belgian. You've got Tibor, he's Dutch. He kind of looks a little bit like the young Vanderpool, he's doing the whips even at the end. So you had a pretty good dynamic there, and they're clearly both like they're the cream of the crop, the best of the rest. But it was interesting to see them in that race, and as we talked about before, like, there were sections that some people were better at, and some people were better at other sections, and it came down to that run up where Tibor, said, I can ride it earlier in the week, and he rode it cleanly every time. And Nye struggled. I was kind of looking back through the laps. He did ride it well, like lap 4 or whatever. But like lap 1, he can't quite get up there. Kind of bobbles the dismount and loses a little bit of time.
Whirly everywhere. I just don't think he had right tire pressure or pattern or something. But he was just like so sketchy. You could tell he was like on rails for part of that, where he's like, oh shit, this is all going to go bad.
Yeah, it seemed it's crazy because for the whole time that I've been aware of Thibaut Nez, it's just, look at what this kid, is there anything he can't do on a bike? Right. And to see him struggle technically, even over some of the previous races too, I feel like he kind of struggled. Mas Mechlin was one where he was like,
and like, this was the first time where you hear him set that narrative. I'm not good in the sand, right? I'm not, just like I am. Let me tell you all how vincible I am now that I'm winning races.
I do you think him and Mathieu were talking about that? They looked like they were having a conversation before the podium. Do you think Vanderpool was giving him some elderly advice at 31 years old about, hey man, if you're going to dominate, you can't be saying stuff like that.
Exactly. Yes, everything is the armor has to be solid.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the watching that race, it was, and I don't know, it's not that it was the only feature that made the difference, but really in the elite men's race, it came down to who could ride that uphill, like you guys have already been saying, right? And Thibaut never quite had it. And as we were watching, it's so impressive to me watching Mathieu van der Poel, because it's like, as soon as he gets the line, it's just copy paste every lap. He's just doing it over and over and over again. And his ability to hit the same line lap after lap is unrivaled by anybody. And you see Thibaut, and he's, yeah, like you guys said, squirrely. He's like kind of on the line, and then a lap later he misses it and does something different. It's like, you had it a second ago. What? It was frustrating because I wanted to see him do well. And third is still really great. But I wanted to see him be closer to Van der Poel to beat Tibor, especially. It seemed like Tibor maybe was having more back issues.
This was gonna be my question. This was my hypothetical. If Tibor is not like doing these self physio sessions, for
during the race,
2/3 of a lap with the stretches and the yoga on the bike, is he closer to Van der Poel?
I don't think so.
Does he make Van der Poel work more?
The thing is, you've seen him with Van der Poel in some races, and there just comes a point where Van der Poel puts on the Van der Poel gear, and Tibor just can't hold, and he kind of just like has to let off. But yeah, Tibor's back stretching, which we've seen this season, is like kind of worrisome because he's young, right? Like you should be strong all over, and you should
what I've heard for just trickle down from media room type stuff is that he may not be the best at listening to physios and coaches and team people who are like, buddy, got to take care of that back,
got to do some
he may be in that his armor for him, he seems to be fine, and he thinks he's invincible and can just do this, and youth will take care of itself, which so far for him has been a pretty good plan.
Okay. Yeah. It's not the training for a 5-minute mile that he's doing on his vlogs. That's not,
is he doing that?
I didn't even see that. Something he's, it's kilometers. So I
like him. He seems like a free spirit. Seems like he's definitely not the same personality as a Van der Poel. Seems like pretty loose and open guy.
I have a hypothetical for you all, and it takes us all the way back to Namur butterfly effect. I don't know if that's the right analogy to use here. If Thibaut Nice doesn't mess up in the last lap at Namur, do we get a different World Championships? Does Thibaut Nice believe then that he can take it to Van der Poel and not just shut down when Van der Poel says bye-bye the rest of the season?
It's just crazy to think that he was so close. But it is. But that's like, yeah, I don't know.
It
would have been weird.
Van der Poel, he's 6-7 years older than Nice, so there's a little bit of extra development there. But I feel like Thibaut was so close there. I think it was at a race that he was really amped for, and then the rest of the season, like Havre, we saw it where Thibaut kind of messed up, and then he was just like, well, racing for second. At least from my perspective, it seemed like he was racing for second, and you kind of saw it when Van der Poel went off, and Van der Poel was just measuring his gap, like you said, running the barriers to make it interesting for himself up front. I kind of started wondering, like, man, if Thibaut had maybe a little bit more belief, would that have changed maybe not the outcome, but made it another lap a little bit closer here or there if he had that just that little bit better result earlier in the season.
Well,
what if it were drier?
Yeah, maybe. I feel like I was wondering about Thibaut. Like, he had too much belief in himself, and he kept trying to ride the entire run up. Where, like, at one point he's like, I can't do this. Like, I keep fucking it up. Like, I just have to dismount. Like, I had to do a smooth, like, ride as far as I can and smoothly dismount and commit to that move and not lose that time. Because on the last lap, right, he tries to ride it behind Tibor. He can't. He struggles. Then he comes out of his pedal, right, and he loses even more time. So I think he maybe had too much belief in himself. He was never going to beat Van der Poel, no matter. The butterfly flag didn't work. No.
Benidorm 2024.
How far back can we go?
Thibaut got third and Van der Poel got fifth.
That's the last time he beat him.
Yeah. The only other time was Zolder in 2021, where Thibaut was 26th and Matthew DNF'd.
DNF'd, yeah.
So, what's 36 and 29? What's that? 65 to 11. That is Van der Poel's record over the Nace father and son.
I think in cross results his couch is on fire. Thibaut's is.
Well, Thibaut is 30. It's 36 and 2 for Thibaut and 29 and 9 for Sven.
Gotcha. Okay. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, so there you go. So Tibor gets second. He's stoked. Does the whip.
Does Tibor seem like he's like 16 and Thibaut's like 24, even though they're pretty much the same age?
Yeah.
Those are the things that always just confuse me in this sport. These kids have been around for so long.
Good battle though. We had Joris gets fourth, Pips,
Fontana.
I don't know why I have 11 up here right now. Pips, Fontana. Good racing in that chasing group, right? I
mean, Felipe Orts was, animating it for a lot of that race and just couldn't. And then Van Toornout, it was like Van Toornout was like ahead by 10 seconds, I think, at one point, and then was nowhere to be seen. Yeah, not 10, but he had a decent gap in that group, and then just like whoop was gone. I don't know if it crashed or what happened.
Yeah, I mean, there was good stuff back there, but they cut back, and you would see Orts at the front, and then you would see, Fontana may make a move, and then you would see. So then, like, at one point, like, Orts makes a move, and then it cuts back, and here comes Gerben Kuipers, like, rolling from the back. He looks at Toon, he's like, yeah, let's go, let's chase him back. And I was like, I like this, like, team camaraderie. They're like, all right, we've got to chase down this Spanish guy. They brought Orts back, but good. I don't know. There was good stuff.
They were staring at each other at one point when Orts went. It was kind of funny. The two Belgians were just like, "You go get him."
Well, that must have caused Gerben to be like, "All right, I'll go get him." Maybe it was Michael and Toon, and then Gerben's like, "I will do it, guys." He seems happy. He seems like willing to please and like work for his teammates. So, good for him there. Yeah, I don't know. And then the Fontana getting fourth would have been a really cool result to see an Italian out there in the top 5. I thought then Fontana had sprinted as hard as he could and Joris was faster, but watching Fontana just sits up at the line and Joris pips him and like almost crashes him out. It's kind of crazy, but they both stay upright.
Yeah, Fontana. Oh, he raced
he's got some good results.
Tabor was like 17th. Hogerheide was 28th. I mean, so he's 4th year elite and he's coming up there.
Yeah, he's got a handful of top 10s this year, in the Belgian races. We saw him in Diegem have a fun race and 5th at Hulst. Well, that's World Championships, 9th at Hogerheide. So it's good to see him up there. Him and Orts kind of sort of, taking it for the old historic road cycling nations, I guess, Spain and Italy.
I think this is Orts' best. It's as far back as I'm going here. Let's see, 2020, 22, 23, he was 19th at Hogerheide, 10th at Tabor. And then 12th at Levine. So,
yeah, it's been really cool this year to see how Felipe, I think you've kind of, he sort of has been on the radar, right? As like a guy that gets called out. It's like, hey, first non-Belgian, he's, 15th this year. Oh, first non-Belgian, he's now 11th. And it kind of has a steady progression, right? And it's really, really cool this year, seeing him get on the podium in his home World Cup, and then just, the confidence that he's had all season to be at the front of these races and not just squeaking in. He's actually kind of dictating how things go and making it happen. So yeah, I mean, hopefully he kind of sticks around. I mean, he's like, he almost takes up the half the page here with how many years he's been racing in elites already. But it's cool to see other nations, as you said, Boedi, at the front of these world championships, and not just, light blue and orange across the entirety of the front 10.
He's only 30.
Yeah.
He's younger than Vanter now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Orts, second at the Hulst World Cup in 2024. So he's got a feel for the course.
Yeah.
Wait, we got to talk about in the men's race.
Yes.
Lars van der Haar's wife was pregnant, about to have a baby.
Pregnant, and was it his mom or grandmother who was there with the red flag?
Was in the pit, would wave a red towel if it was time for him to abandon the race because the baby was coming.
I raced Charm City one year. Similar situation. Not as close, but I just gave my phone to somebody on the side that I didn't know. I was like, if this rings, just pull me off. Of course.
Hey, they want to ask about your warranty. Do you need that extended?
Yeah, exactly. Wow, the race.
Most likely I would have been fine. Good.
Yeah.
Take me out of this. Men's U23, Aaron Dox won that one. Henry Coote, good race for him in 13th. I think he's a kid who still had pretty bad injury there earlier, coming back from, and just to be able to have
this year,
the season
right?
he did.
This
yeah.
This like summer, or sorry, not this year, but last. I mean, 6-7 months ago.
Yep.
Like real bad.
He's so good. Good outing for him, and then he'll be, I guess, getting ready for mountain bike season. Trinity, Ryan Drummond in 26, Calvin Conway down there 33rd. We do have to talk about the women's U23 because I think, as just chatting with Chris Merriam, when I was like, "Hey, nice job, coach." His comment was the best part was they were all frustrated with their finish, which is, I think in retrospect happy, but at the same point, thought they could do better, which is pretty cool. And we're talking about the Americans in the U23 with Vita finishing 6th, Alyssa in 7th, Lydia in 8th. Lydia and her last lap crash, pushed her back some, but
she was solo 5th for a while.
And Vita didn't click in.
Mm-hmm.
She had a hard time.
Yeah,
and
I was wondering
even
why she
Catherine
went back.
Sarksoff, who was 13th, completely missed her pedal at the start and was dead last, and then basically was put in the top 10 times for the whole race. So just more bad luck there. But and then Vita just working her way through, and I think Muller also was doing the same behind them. She was just motoring through the field, but American women in the U23, I think if you want to get excited about Americans all across the board, awesome, but get really excited about that U23 field, and especially, the thing that I think can't be stated enough with them is that this might be Vita's second year in U23. I can't remember, but at least with the rest of them, it's all their first year.
Yeah.
That's super cool. It's super cool just to see, the Stars and Stripes jerseys, the USA kit at anywhere close to the front of the race. And I watched the start of that one, and they were focused so much on the front of the race that you kind of missed. You'd see like Lydia in 5th, they'd cut back to her. But yeah, it was cool to see that Alyssa also kind of made it back up there, and Vita as well after not such a great start. So it's encouraging. Cool to see.
And if you're in Dutch speaking countries, it's not Lydia, it's Leisha.
Oh, okay.
Leisha.
Apologies.
Yeah, so that was super cool to see. Oh, well, I mean, you brought up seeing the Stars and Stripes kits. Can we get a Boedi? I mean, this is kind of your lane. Kit critique
on the national team kit.
New Rafa team kits.
I mean, they look fine. I mean, I'll say this: they're different. It's nice to have something fresh. I don't like that the color is not. It's like
you want it bolder.
Yeah, like I get the design, the lighter. It becomes less red, white, and blue to me. And
it's sort of, yeah, I get that. I kind of like what the Dutch used to do, where it was almost like they'd have that white in there, and it was just a very subtle orange. That's true. And with like little designs in there. So I don't know. I kind of dig it. Something. Yeah,
it's not. You
know, it wasn't. You didn't go, oh God.
No, it doesn't offend me. I'm not offended by the new national team kit. Like I said, it is cool to kind of make it something look different, and you know, it might grow on me.
Ethan Brown, top American, 16th place in the junior men's, and tough day out with the junior women. I think there was a crash like in the beginning, so it was one of those things like the top 5 or 10 got away, and then everybody else was just in a mess. Kara Mullen stopped there 18th. The Adas, Linton in 22nd, Watson in 26. But yeah, all good experiences there. Anything about those races we want to touch on, or anything else, or should I get to these Instagram questions end up?
I think just the men's junior race was one that I would go back and watch for sure, but I think it kind of colored the note that I wrote for myself to remember this race was that it was mistakes defined the race. And I think that was kind of we were talking about compelling racing earlier, and I feel like that really colored a lot of the races where there was some type of mistake, be it a rolled tubular in the men's U23 or a crash in the women's elite. Something happened in every race that made you put your hands on your head and be like, oh my God, like I was not expecting that. And it was just all around through every category that I watched was an exciting world championships from end to end. So nice job.
Yeah. Hulst. And the Delano Heron, we were chatting about it a little before. 16-year-old, never really top of the charts for him in any of these races, and then to win a world championship, especially over Grigolini, who kind of been dominating all season long. Just wild stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan Popple, always with the hard hitting questions here. If you had to dive bomb and then crash someone out and then get in a fight, who would it be?
Michael Vandenham.
Nice. Love it. Coach Vandenham.
Actually, I don't know, because I feel like Tobin took it to him in like 2016 ruts and guts, and I think Vandenham got some sharper elbows, so maybe he's not the guy anymore. But he's so nice. He's so friendly. He's also
like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. He's like fixing dislocated fingers on the course and stuff.
Oh my God, that's right.
All right. Well, I'd still dive bomb him, and then he'd kick my ass.
I'd pay for a ticket. Let's do it.
I don't know who I want to do that to. Do I want to dive bomb and crash out?
I don't know. I feel like Tyler answered for the group, because I think
that was a really good answer.
Yeah.
Poor Michael. He's gonna be like, all three of these guys wanted to dive bomb me.
What
did I do?
Oh no, I want you to. I don't.
Okay,
I just that was.
Yeah.
How different does the season look with normal amounts of rain and mud, so dry this year? I honestly enjoyed it. It doesn't have to be every year, but again, it was something different. It gave us a different type of racing. I think it gave us more bike racing rather than just attrition and slogs through the mud, which is always epic and cool, and people are sliding off, and it's who crashes less and all that kind of stuff. But I thought we had some really good strategic races, especially in the men's side before Vanderpool showed up, and just some good battles all around. So I kind of enjoyed it, and also I was there and I didn't have to go through one rain race, and it was a novel experience in Europe, and I loved it.
I'm thinking like in the women's field, I feel that Brand still would have won all those races. I don't think of. I'm trying to think of any in those top 3 or 4 who are like mud or women. I think they're all just kind of skilled in all sorts of ways, and so I think that would have been the same. And I just to echo you, Bill, I liked a lot of the group racing we had, especially in the men's races. I really enjoyed that style, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, like Deegam is always fun, but look like Deegam this year when they're going like 30 around that course.
Yeah.
It's just insane. Oh no, the best was Dendermonde, the notorious mud race where they're like, okay, well, we can have this really short course because it always takes 8 minutes to get around, and they're just doing like 4-minute laps around that thing. It was like pretty funny. Will AI and gravel pop at the same time?
Man, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Exactly. Can we do some way too early 2027 CX Worlds predictions? This is from Grant. Yeah,
Vanderpool Brand.
You think Vanderpool's back?
Oh, that we haven't even talked about that. We got to.
He got the record. Hey guys, he got the record. Let's bury the headline.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that too, right? So Vanderpool wins 8 World Championships. Which brother? Is it Roger or Eric? I always forget which one he took it from. It's Eric. Eric was the CX star. So Eric had 7. Vanderpool now has 8 World Championships. But Vanderpool is not the outright holder of the record for the most World Championships UCI CX. He holds that with Mariana Boss. So that might be a bugbear for me.
Somebody pointed out, it might have been Jan on the Slack, that Holger Heide is in 2 years.
Yeah.
So he could get the 9th there.
No, he should get the 9th next year, and he should get the 10th in Holger Heide. Then when he gets 10, I mean that's 10. You're done. Like, you can retire.
Would you be okay if he just showed up and raced Holger Heide and then the Worlds?
Yes, 100%. I don't like that. I think we'd like that a lot more, actually. We sort of, yeah. No.
So you get everybody compete for the season, and then they're like, well, okay.
Well, it's funny because he actually won a World Cup overall this year as well, too.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing, too. Yeah.
Because, like you said, they've stacked them all towards the end, and usually he doesn't race that many, and he's like, yeah, let me go to Benidorm. Then my team was like, you should race. Huh?
What's his streak at?
24.
All right. That's off.
So, yeah, I want to ask that question. What do you guys think? Is Vanderbilt coming back next year? In his interview, he said, we'll have to see what the future holds, like after the race, which is a nothing answer, right? Like, of course.
I think it just determines on how the year goes.
You think on how road goes?
Road, and if he does mountain biking and all that kind of stuff.
So, like if he does well, does that mean he does cross, or if he does bad, he does cross?
I think there's a better chance that if he does well, he does cross.
Okay.
I think because, he's going to have to do some mountain biking this year if his goal truly is to win Olympic mountain bike title, because he doesn't have any points. And I think that his 2028 season is going to be too crammed to try to score some points. I assume he's got to get, I don't know how the points all work for mountain biking, but I assume that he's probably on a thinking ahead type cycle. So
yeah, they even have to qualify some dudes in there to even be invited to the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of the Dutch men's field looks like, but
it might be a little thin in terms of
gonna have to find some U23 like Pidcock did get a spot.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a likelihood that he comes back and races some cross, maybe not 14, 15 races, mostly just because I think he gets bored. I think that, you know,
and the thing is, like, we all know he doesn't need money, but if you can go to work for an hour at like Hama and make $50,000, 50,000 euros, like, hey, why not? Plus the prize money on top of that.
I think there was a video that Jan shared in the bulletin Slack, and I was watching it, and Vanderpool was in that video. It was about the Rudhoff brothers, but they were interviewing Mathieu, and he talked about how, you know, he used to do training with his brother in the woods, and now he's mostly by himself. And I think I said out loud, I was like, man, I wonder how long that lasts, because you got to imagine that, I mean, for a guy that's done it all, like, what else does he need to do? How long does the motivation be there to go out and ride through the same forest and, you know, do the intervals and things like that? When, you know, he's probably got some strokes he needs to shave off on his handicap.
Yeah. And he's not like Wout, where he's just like hanging out at a coffee shop and guy shows up and he goes, "Oh, you're my new training partner. Let's go, buddy."
The thing about that video is he said that, and I clued into this too. He's like, I'm having fun. Like, it's still fun. So in that video, he, like, I think if it's still fun for him, then yes, he can 100% race a lesser, smaller schedule last year and win one of the worlds. But like you said, if it's no longer fun, and maybe it won't be fun next year because of whatever happens that season. But that's what I took from that, was that, like, he's still having fun. He's still enjoying. Like, he raced Benidorm, right? Because he was at his road training camp, and his teammates were like, "Dude, come on, go race. Like, we want to watch a cross race. Like, come show us what it's all about." And he's like, "Heck yeah, I'll go race.
I'll go beat up on these guys for you."
Exactly. You guys want to see how strong I am? Here we go. Like, so
I didn't know that was the reason why he showed up there. I assumed that it was because someone said, "Hey, by the way, if you just show up, you could pretty much win the overall."
This again is like, I don't think that motivates him. I think there's some records he cares about. Obviously, this one, you know, the most wins, but just like that kind of stuff, because that was the same thing that still just boggles my mind, where he could have won the World Cup in mountain biking, but didn't want to go to North America. He just showed up at Mount St. Anne, and I think it was a snowshoe that year, and, you know, ridden around and won the World Cup. But he was like, nah, go to road camp instead.
I mean, if it does, so I mean, he already has he has the most World Cup wins. He beat Sven at Hoogerheide, which seems like insult to injury there for Sven. He has the most World Championship titles ever. The World Cup overall, I believe, if my skimming is correct, is only at 3. And Wout and Sven are the only 2 with 3.
Oh, so that's the most anybody has.
Correct.
Wow,
of the World Cup overall titles.
Yeah.
So it's like the last of the Infinity Stones that he has to get is winning 4 overall World Cup titles.
Yeah. I don't think he cares.
Does he?
I mean, well,
go ahead.
I was going to say, it doesn't seem like he would commit to that, but actually the fact that he won this one this year with this sort of very shortened season, like, yeah, maybe he could do it. But that does seem like one that's not as important. Yeah. Although if you send him a DM and tell him that Wout has more,
he might.
For his post up, going with the right hand instead of the left hand, does he get fined by Richard Mille for that?
Oof. And he might have lost out on one watch allotment for the season.
The black watch too. Well, they're not as flashy as last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, I guess we got to do those. So you think Vanderpool next year? If Vanderpool's not there, who wins Worlds?
Tibor.
Yeah, that was gonna be my guess. I got poo-pooed on Reddit because they were doing like they were putting at the beginning of season Tibor like in the top 15. I was like, that kid's a unit. He's gonna be like on the podium when he shows up. People are like, no, he doesn't have the experience in the elite field. Blah blah blah. Yeah, right. Okay. Does the sport firmly belong to the Dutchies now?
Yes,
Yes.
it has for a while.
All right, Grant. I'm reading your question. Do you think Sven wishes he had a daughter instead?
Youch.
I think he's very happy with his son, and would, have been happy with a daughter as well.
I think much like Mathieu, the bitterness of being so close and yet so far for Thibaut is going to spurn him on to greatness. That's my pick. I think he spends a little bit of extra time at the beach between now and Ostende, and I think he takes it to Tibor next year at Worlds.
Thibaut could beat Tibor 100%. Like that would be a good battle. I'd love to see that one. So if Van der Poel wants to sit out and we have a Thibaut. So
I know Thibaut's a good road racer, but he's not a typical Belgian road racer. Like, he's not a big guy.
Yeah, correct.
Hilly classics, uphill sprint. Yeah.
He's a punchy boy.
Yeah, a little different
for sure.
I think that does it. Who's the best cyclocross racer in the world right now?
Tyler,
today?
Go for it first.
Oh man, I feel like I knew this question was coming. Listen to Brand.
All right.
Damn, I should have gone first. I was going to say listen to Brand too, because she overcame adversity and still won. She crashed and won. Van der Poel just rode away.
I'm going to say Mathieu Van der Poel, because that dude just dismounted for those planks because he could. He not only dismounted, I swear he was slow rolling into them. He was like, you want like where he was making his money? He was giving the VIPs, they all got their photos. He was like,
well, no, I was thinking that like he was like, I'm gonna fuck over this promoter and the VIPs and not bunny hop. Like, that's like right. They put the planks at the VIPs.
So you're saying that's why he even went to the left side, so they didn't get a good angle for a photo. Like, if he had gone to the right and was like farther out, they could have got a better shot of him.
Yeah, he wasn't into it. He was like, y'all added this piece of the course across over here. The only thing we did was a square, and there was barriers in a flat, muddy field.
Because if we know anything about Mathieu Van der Poel, he just wants to put that middle finger up to the elites and the moneyed people in the world, because he doesn't believe in any of those trappings at all.
Not on his private jet. I saw he was skiing right after.
Perfect. All right, we've already gone pretty long, but we do got a couple more minutes if y'all want to like have a golf corner here. So we're done. We can sign off. Okay, golf time.
Roll the credits. Tyler, have you been playing?
Unfortunately, not on account of the snow. I think I was actually signed up to play a tournament, and then the snowstorm came through, so that didn't happen. But I did go hit a little bit tonight. We have a driving range that has an indoor simulator, and was able to finagle So I didn't actually. Someone else was able to finagle some time that somebody couldn't make it to dinner or supper in this area. So got to hit a little bit for the first time in a couple of weeks. It wasn't just putting, thankfully.
Nice.
Yeah. But I've been itching to play.
That kind of raises the question, Boedi. When's the first tournament?
Well, first of all, I had to figure out how I don't even know what's going on. The only tournament I know about that I've seen is like the Louisiana AMs, and you have to be like a 5 handicap or to whatever. I'm so far. So I haven't quite figured out the competitive golf for Cat 5. I haven't figured that out yet. But
do the other people that you play with, are they all cyclists?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, in fact, I've converted my good buddy. He's full on sicko now. He went and played. We played in the morning 9, and it was 37 degrees, and there was frost on the fairways.
Oh yeah.
And he was just let's fucking go. And then he's like, I'm dreaming about golf now. I'm like, dude, you're so in.
Wow. That's next level.
Yeah, playing today. I was playing with my buddy. He introduced me to someone else that he works with. He's like, yeah, this is my riding buddy. I'm like, dude, we don't even ride bikes anymore. I'm your golf buddy.
Amazing.
Fully transitioned. So golf is the new cycling, is the new golf now. We've come back full circle. Then
Is live done?
Man.
It's funny that like this is the year that like all the players are defecting and that's coming to New Orleans this year. It's like they're like it's like just I don't know, like playing in New Orleans and our shitty governor giving them money to come here, and it's just like Brooks Koepka leaves and you're just like, yeah, I think it's over. It has to be. Like
I think they could do themselves a solid and be a true stepping ground for some up and comers, right? So if you have like either really lean into the influencer YouTube golfers, or give it to like, hey, these are some young guys that maybe they're not on the Korn Ferry Tour, they didn't go to Q school, but we're going to give them some money and they're going to play some golf. And like Michael Lasasso, who's NCAA champ. I heard a comment on a golf podcast that they were like, yeah, he was on like Frat Row like 6 months ago, and now he's in Saudi Arabia getting ready for the first Live Riyadh. Give the young guys an opportunity, a stepping stone. If we're all saying the PGA Tour is the be all end all, then the
only issue is that the PGA Tour has to like get rid of all their sort of punishments, right? Where they can actually go from the Live to the PGA without sort of being suspended for a year or giving up your player equity or whatever, all these things, and donating to a charity of PGA Tour's choice. Like,
Brooks Koepka donating to the Koepka Foundation or whatever could be. Who knows? It's the politics of golf is interesting, and I don't even understand it. I don't even understand it anymore.
Yeah, well, all I know is one prize purse could fund 10 years of cyclocross.
I know. Yeah, we need. How do we get some golfer to really love cyclocross? That's what we need to do.
That's it.
Vanderpool could be the perfect cipher.
The delegate,
he was
ambassador.
Already, did you guys watch his Whoop challenge against Michael Phelps at the Ryder Cup?
No.
Oh man, yeah. Him and Mathieu and Michael Phelps had a challenge, a golf challenge around the Ryder Cup, sponsored by Whoop. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. You can watch them compete. I think it's mostly like closest to the pin with different distractions and such.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty entertaining stuff. But I agree, Vanderpool could be the guy that is the bridge. He's the connector.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. On that, we may come back soon. We got stuff to talk about, like World Cup scheduling and all that kind of fun. It's UCI scheduling for everything. See what races are out there. It's good chatting with you all. And we'll see you all in the next one.
Thanks. See ya.